I think it's important for us to understand the broader context of the rhetoric that you just mentioned. And that's that the West is going through a period of reckoning and reconciling themselves with their own disturbing history, the disturbing parts of their history, I should say. Being able to effectively do so has necessitated the use of those terms. In order for the West to understand not just the beautiful part about Western civilization, but the ugly and painful parts, they've needed to use terms like white settler, colonizer, colonization, apartheid, genocide, ethnic cleansing, etc., because we know that these are inseparable parts of the history of the West and the expansion of European civilization across the planet. Unfortunately, there's another aspect of European civilization which we're seeing emerge in the context of its dialectic with Israel and the Jewish people, and that's the tendency to scapegoat the Jews for uncomfortable aspects of their own societal reality. Whether it was in previous iterations of anti-Semitism, it was about blaming Jews for the Black Plague or for murdering God, the collective sin of the society today are these realities of colonialism, the legacies of colonialism, of imperialism. And out of a desire to deal with that in a healthy way has emerged the anti-Semitic version of that, the anti-Semitic distortion of that desire to have a real, meaningful dialogue about the legacy of imperialism and colonialism. So instead of having that conversation, anti-Semites, as they do in every civilization on the planet, come into that space and redirect that energy to scapegoat the most convenient scapegoat of history, the Jewish people. And so all of these collective sins of Western civilization, colonialism, imperialism, ethnic cleansing, genocide, we can talk about that and how the general context of how that happened in the Americas. But instead of actually doing that, they're throwing it on Israel. They're accusing Israel and the Jewish people, when the reality is that we don't fit cleanly into any of those definitions. Jewish history and Jewish identity is far more complex than the convenient binary, and the very real binary, of the foreign colonist and the indigenous native that exists in North America. That doesn't exist in this region. Our realities are much more layered, much more complex. And so the return of the Jewish people to their ancestral homeland, to return to sovereignty in their ancestral homeland, certainly messy, but it cannot be compared to the European colonial imperial project